Hello and welcome to EV Review Ireland. My name is Reilly. Today we are with MG and it's the MG4 we're looking at. This is the top level trim, which in the UK you call the Trophy, in Ireland we call the Exclusive. And if you can see in the background we have the SE trim in the UK and the Excite we call in Ireland. So I'll be focusing on this one, but I'll cover some of that at the end. There are a couple of differences internally and externally to it. Let's get straight into it. And the design is stunning. It comes in 6 different colors, 5 on the entry level trim, and then on the top trim you're going to get this volcano orange as well. Once we move down along the front, you've got this really nice indentation on the grille, a lot of angular poses. A lot of people are comparing it to the CUPRA Born, and if I click my fingers, I'm just after driving past this car, and if anybody wanted to see what the MG4 was like versus the CUPRA Born, very similar in size, and there's only a small bit difference in the height. And in the rear, that's the upper trim with the spoiler on the back. So yeah, there's your comparison. If you're interested in all things EV and you want to support the channel, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so you don't miss any future updates. It's raining outside, so I had to film this on the inside. Beautiful angular lights, and depending on the trim, the entry level one, the DLRs are built into it, and as well as the indicators. But with the top level trim, Trophy or Exclusive, you've got that indicator bar at the bottom there. Otherwise, the front is the exact same, except for on the upper level trim, you have active air grills down, so active grill cooling, AGC. You've got your 360 cameras, large MG badge at the front. No frunk in underneath, unfortunately, because I have a commenter regular on my videos asking if everything has a frunk. I think he's a Tesla Model 3 owner, but he's always asking if there is a frunk inside. And before you leave the comment, there isn't. And if you still want to leave a comment, that'd be great for engagement. As you know, we're on a drive to 10,000 subscribers here on the channel before the end of the year. And hopefully with videos like this, you'll see the value in subscribing to the channel. So gorgeous front, gorgeous styling. We don't have a drag coefficient on it, but I really like it, and great colors as well. Moving down along the side, you have 17-inch wheels. They're the exact same on both trims. You have your gloss black wing mirror with that indicator built into it, and on the upper level trim they are retractable. Nice design feature here that starts and then works its way up. You also have that body color going all the way along, and again, depending on the trim, you will have a body colored roof or you'll have a gloss black roof on the upper level trim, Trophy or Exclusive, and this color moves all the way down, and then again, depending on the trim, will fit in around the back, but we'll talk about that once we get down along there. You've got this black cladding in underneath, body colored with keyless entry, and on the upper level trim you have Bluetooth key, so that cladding kind of really makes it, and the size of it, if you wanted to understand what size it was, very much like the CUPRA Born, it's pretty identical to an ID3, except the ID3 is a small bit taller. This one isn't as tall. And then you've got your charging flap on the back here, AC on 7 kilowatts, some markets in 11 kilowatts, but in the UK and Ireland there will be 7, and then DC on the smaller battery, which is around 50 kilowatt hours, that will go up to 135, and on the larger battery, which is about 64, and of that 61.7 of it is usable, it goes up to 150. Time-wise, from 10 to 80%, if you can get a charger that will give you 150, about 30 odd minutes, and with the smaller battery, with the 135, that takes about 39 minutes on it. Overall, the front and the side, I think some fantastic styling elements of it. It's definitely unique on the road. Let's spin it around and have a look at the back. We talked about it when we were looking at the front and the side, so that color of the body comes along. You won't see it in the black one, but all the other colors you pretty much will see it. And on the upper level trim, Trophy or Exclusive, you have this split spoiler with that high level brake light. Now that high level brake light is included in the lower or entry level trim, but these spoilers are only on the top level trim. Also on the top level trim, you have this beautiful light bar that goes side to side, and you have that cross hatch element on it with that MG built into it. Really striking looks amazing. Reminds me of that Toyota design language, potentially front and rear, but very much at the back here. This reminds me of a Toyota. You've got the MG4 electric badging on the right hand side, nothing on the left hand side. And you have these kind of boomerang taillights, LED as well. You don't have your boot opening in here, it's up underneath here, not powered, and you've got 363 litres. On the upper level trim as well, you have this kind of foldable with magnets in underneath, and then that allows you to drop that floor down if you require it. 60-40 split in the back with some tie-off points. You've got some shopping bag hooks, you've got a light on the side here. What I don't see is any 12 volt charging in the boot, but nice level in, load level, no lip. And then you've got some design underneath here as well, but that's kind of copying the elements up here, moving down, and you have some grey cladding and some black cladding at the back as well. So overall, externally, really, really good. Let's have a look at the difference between this and the entry-level SE, or Excite in Ireland is what we call it, before we have a look on the inside. This is the entry level, or the SE in the UK, or the Excite in Ireland. You've got that body coloured roof, but you don't have that split spoiler. You do have that high level brake light. You do have a spoiler of sorts at the back here, but it hasn't got that side to side or coast to coast brake light. Still tasteful, still nice in that gloss black finish with that MG badging. And then the button is in underneath, and then you don't have that multi-floor level boot like we have on the upper level trim. Let's have a look around at the front of this and the differences between it. Another difference you'll see between this and the top level is that there's privacy glass in the back of the upper level trophy or exclusive. This red looks really good. So this is the entry level SE in the UK, or it is the Trophy and, SE in the UK or Excite in Ireland. So pretty similar, but you do have a different style of headlight, and you don't have that indicator built in down here at the front, along with you don't have active grille cooling in underneath as well on the larger battery. So that's pretty much the differences on the outside. Let's have a look on the inside of the MG4. What's it like inside the MG4? So on the door you have your central locking just beside the handle, and then you've got your 4 electric windows, and you've got the ability to lock them up here as well. Depending on the trim will dictate whether they're one touch down for all of them, or just the driver. On the entry level SE trim, it's just the driver, and for the Trophy or exclusive in Ireland, it is it's all touch. Front of my right knee, then you have your ability to change the angle on the side mirrors. It's actually not on the door, it's in front of the knee, and then the ability to change the light, the level of the lights. Moving across, then you've got a 7-inch driver entertainment screen broken up into 3. We'll talk about that a bit more when we're out for a drive. A hexagonal screen which facilitates the ability to be able to see that 7-inch screen, so flat top and flat bottom. You've got toggle switches on either side. You've got voice control and a favorite switch on the left, and on the right hand side you've got phone, menu, and again another favorite switch that you can pre-program. You've got some IR sensor at the top of the steering column, and the actual steering column has reach and rake. On the left hand side you've got your lights and indicator stock, very Audi-like, and on the right hand side you've got your wipers. The steering wheel itself looks kind of BMW, which was great. 2-spoke and a nice little feature at the bottom with a bit of gloss black. With the SE trim or the Excite trim in Ireland, you're going to get fabric seats, and then on the Trophy trim or the exclusive trim in Ireland, so entry level and top level, you're going to have the leather with the cloth inserts. You've got an armrest here with a decent glove box inside that. You've got some netting. You've got a roller, cubby hole, 2 cup holders. Then you've got the plinth with regards to the drive mode selection with P in the middle, reverse, neutral and drive, and then your automatic handbrake. Nice little MG electric, little branding there, reminds me of Polestar. On the entry level trim, that's just a shelf with some entry points for the wires, but on the upper level Trophy and exclusive trim you have it as a Qi wireless charging pad, but you don't have wireless Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. Some people are talking about how this plinth plays effects there with their knee, but I'm okay with that. On the entry level trim it's manual, but on the upper level trim it is a electrically adjusted driver seat. You've got some good door bins, big dash, soft touch. Don't have pano sunroof. In the head unit you've got your lights, but you also have a sunglass holder, which is always great to see, and you also have your mirrors but no lights. You've got a 10.25 inch screen that divides down into a number of different ways. It works with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. It also, on the 10.25 inch screen, you've got like 4 sections, or 5 sections actually. It's got Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You've got the weather, and depending on the trim will dictate whether you have the iSmart live traffic, live weather. If you go for the upper level trim, you've got your charging, you've got your radio, you've got your navigation, and whatever you select on these, they go full screen. But what I really like is the fact that you've got some shortcut buttons in underneath. You've got your climate shortcut, and you can turn that off by just pressing a button, or you can click the top of the screen and it brings you straight into the actual screen. You've got your front and rear demisters, you've got your hazard lights, you've got your home button, you've got your volume up and down as well, because just handy to have that kind of stuff. Your aircon vents are all across one single line. You've got the glove box, shallow but wide, which is good. Seats are really comfortable, but again, we'll talk about that once we get out and drive. This seat is set for me. I'm 162 centimeters. Sorry, I'm 6'2", 188 centimeters. Let's have a seat in the back to see what it's like. But first impressions and overall, some really nice plastics on the where you touch and feel. As you go down into the doors and stuff like that, it's more hard wearing and wipeable, but let's have a seat in the back to see what the space is like back there. What's it like in the back of the MG4? So that seat is set for me, loads of room, and however they've done the batteries, originally it was battery stacked up, but they've stacked them on their side so they're much shallower, so I can fit my feet in underneath the driver's seat, which was an issue on the MG5. You've got some pockets in the back of the seat, you've got a magazine cover. That door itself, you've got your own window, decent sized pocket, not huge. Some gloss black around the car, all right. You have one USB in the back of the center console, large bin, small bit of a transmission tunnel. Definitely two adults in the back. Whether you'd fit three, it depends on how big the adults were, but no center headrest and no center armrest. But you do have three three-point seats and two Isofix seatings in the back, and they're hidden in underneath a Velcro strap there. That covers both sides of it, but headroom is good. It's very dark in here, is probably another thing. It doesn't have a pano sunroof. It doesn't have an option for that as well. The only options that you get is which trim you want, the SE or Excite in Ireland, or the Trophy in the UK, or Exclusive in Ireland, and then the colour. They're the only two options you have. There's very little to decide on, which is great. Let's take it out for a drive. Before we take it out for a drive, this video is in partnership with Nevo.ie, Ireland's newest dedicated EV website. Nevo's cutting-edge platform features innovative tools to help you find and compare different EVs, as well as our bespoke journey planner. If you're interested in going electric, check out Nevo.ie. What's it like driving the MG4? Really good, and I think you can see from the walk around that this is a very impressive electric vehicle, electric car. Impressive car, full stop. You can see with the rain outside exactly why we had to do the walk around internally, and I was watching other YouTubers trying to get footage outside in the rain, but I said I'd do it inside. Okay, so starting from what I can see, there's a great height in the windscreen, and seating position is really good. The actual seats themselves are really well bolstered. The driver in the Trophy edition that I'm driving here, the Exclusive, the higher trim, has an electric adjusted seat. Passenger is manually adjusted. Wing mirrors are good size. On the upper level trim, you also have blind spot, which is really good. I'm a big fan of. Steering wheel, that hexagonal flat top and flat bottom. Great size, great shape, great weight as well. They've really done it suspension wise, and the MG UK route that they've recommended for us today, they didn't put us on nice smooth motorways, which is great to see. It's country roads, it's back, they're small, they're narrow, they're potentially not the best maintained, but very happy with how it's performing comfort wise. Couple of different drive modes. We've got 5 different drive modes. Now, to change those drive modes, you have to go into the car icon on the actual dash, and then you've got Snow, Eco, Normal, Custom and Sport. Go back to my navigation here so that I know where I'm going. When she hasn't told me to change, I presume it's straight on. And then one thing I miss is the pedals on the back of the steering wheel, or even the KERS adjuster on the other MGs. Everything again is done through the dashboard, so your settings. So if you are doing hypermiling where you're driving in B mode in urban areas and D mode and other EVs, whereas here, energy recovery, you've got weak, medium, strong, and then adaptive. So you probably could just leave it in adaptive, but I know some people like to leave it in strong. Obviously, in my opinion, the best way of driving an EV is have strong regen in the slower environs around town, etc., etc., and then have little to no resistance then when you're on a motorway, so having weak. So it'll be great to see, and looking forward to having this for a longer time, to be able to judge that and take it on longer journeys and do my coast to coast, etc, etc. So steering wheel's good. On the actual steering wheel, it's physical buttons, phenomenal. They've these really nice little toggle switches, and then you've got on the left hand side voice, etc, etc. And then you've got some shortcut buttons as well that you can program on the steering wheel. On the right hand side, that is menu and phone. We've covered that in the static look around it. Whilst driving, it's great to have the shortcut buttons underneath the actual infotainment, and it's a 10.25 inch screen or 10.25 inch screen. It's great to have that shortcut buttons underneath it, so volume's easy to do. I'd like to see volume on the steering wheel, and I think it's there. I just haven't been able to find it yet. Up and down, I presume one of these toggle switches do it, but there are physical function keys to do that as well. To change temperature, to change the settings for regen or driving modes, it's a small bit finicky. The icons on the actual infotainment screen, they're just a small bit small. Now with Android Automotive, it's perfect because they scale everything up and mirror your phone, but just with the likes of entering navigation or trying to change things around, and whilst driving as well, you're probably holding the top of the actual screen to anchor yourself and use your thumb rather than having somewhere to rest your wrist and then use your fingers on it as well. The wireless charging pad is a nice touch, but I'd love to see wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, so hopefully that'll come to a future update, because charging your phone whilst it's also plugged in
400 yards, turn slight left to Chadlington Road and then turn left.
kind of defeats the purpose if you're using Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. That steering wheel is really good, and it gives you great visibility on that 7-inch driver screen. That driver screen, the left-hand panel is driver car awareness as to where it sees vehicles around you, lane assist, etc. So like MG Pilot in essence. Then the middle one is all about speed sign recognition and your current speed, your battery percentage, your range, and whether you're using the automatic handbrake or not, which I think is standard. The right hand panel then is fully adjustable. It has tire pressure, it has your fuel efficiency, energy efficiency, it has navigation, it has brightness, it has music, and then it rolls around again. So great to have it. You also have underneath that then what power you're using, percentage power you're using, and then what stage regen. So it's the same as the MG ZS and the MG5. It's the same icon. It's a little circle with the level you're on, and then whether it's green, amber, red, depending on the severity of
600 yards,
region.
turn slight left to B 4022.
Not great roads there now, and super smooth. So steering wheel is great. Switch gear is good. Fit and finish and feel good. Very little creaks and groans. As you go down through the car, the plastics get a bit more
Turn slight left.
hard wearing. If energy efficient, lightweight, whatever you want to call it. Some people call them cheap. But with the price of this car, I think it's still phenomenal value. Bit of gloss black going on. Rotary dial. Some people were complaining about the actual, it's sticking out that floating ledge, and it's your knee rubbing up against it, but I have no problem with it there. Now it's actually nice to rest my knee up against it for the length of time I've been driving with it. Visibility is good. There is no center headrest on either model, on either trim level, which is probably a good thing because you have good visibility looking out. What you don't have on the MG4 is a rear wiper. So you're going to have to either treat that screen with some coating that stops the rain gathering and the dust gathering on it. So it's just interesting to see all of these brands going this way with having without a rear wiper on it. On the higher trim, Trophy or Exclusive, you have that bigger electric motor, so it's rear mounted. So the driving dynamics, it's a 50-50 weight distribution, and that battery pack is in underneath like the majority of electric vehicles, ground up electric vehicles. And this is MG's, if I'm not mistaken, one of their first fully ground up electric vehicles. It's based on that NSP platform, modular scalable platform, and that will be used across a lot of the MGs moving forward, and you're going to have a lot of different variants and body types on that as well. At higher speeds, the road noise is probably a bit higher than I was expecting, whether it's There's enough acoustic dampening in the wheel arches. But yeah, there's a bit of wind noise there, and the wing mirrors are a great size, so they're going to attract a bit of wind. And on this upper level trim, they are retractable when you park up as well. Looking forward to driving this at night time. We talked about it on the outside, the difference in the headlights and the technology there, to just see how different they are between the entry level trim and the upper level trims. Two trims. I know I did a piece with Blake Boland on my other channel, EV Platform, when this was announced, and Blake was all excited about an all-wheel drive, and that is coming down the line with over 400 odd horsepower, and it is going to have 300 or 350 kilowatt motor across the two axles worth of power, painted calipers, launch control. So it's going to be interesting whether somebody at the lower end and the price point and the target that MG are going after, people that are looking for that value with that 7-year warranty, with that residual values, etc., on lease and PCP, they seem to be holding well. Whether that market are interested in that hot hatch, and it sounds like it will be a hot hatch. 0 to 100 km/h is under 8 seconds, no matter what battery size you go for. It's in around that 7.7 seconds. So it's sprightly, and when you put the shoe down, it's not instantaneous. It's a nicely tempered acceleration curve. Yeah, that suspension is great, and so is that steering. Section I like to call Stat Attack. Prices in the UK starting at £25,995. Irish prices aren't out yet. We're told they're going to be something very similar. 2 battery sizes, just over 50 kilowatt hour, which gives you a WLTP of 350, real world probably around 300, and then the larger battery, which usable just over 61 kilowatt hours, WLTP of 450 kilometers, real world would probably be near 360. On the standard range battery pack, you have the 125 kilowatt motor giving you 170 PS, and then the long range on the 2 trims, you have 150 kilowatt motor rear mounted giving you over 200 brake horsepower. Torque across both is 250 Newton meters. Then MG Pilot, which is really good across all of the MGs. Don't forget you have everything from lane keep assist, traffic jam assist, high beam assist, etc., adaptive cruise control, emergency braking, and then on the top level trim you have blind spot detection, lane change assist, rear cross traffic, and door open warning. The top trim you have heated leather seats and steering wheel. You also have the option across both trims for vehicle to load with an adapter. That's £120, about €150 I'd say. And there is no start stop button. That is, you sit in and press the brake. Hopefully you've enjoyed my review of the MG4. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel. More reviews like this are coming. It's been an interesting one. It's great to get over here and get that first drive and first impression of the car. This is going to be a game changer. It's serious value, it has the warranty, it has the range, it has the build quality in the areas that you need it. Yeah, looking forward to seeing how many they sell. It's all about how many they can get. Remember, if you think an EV is for you, leave it to me and I'll review. Thank you very much for watching.